What's up everyone, Chris here with Archipelago. Today we're going to be diving into our set, Quest 03. I'm going to be guiding you through some of the unique features this set has to offer, along with a few tips and tricks to help you get the best possible results. Let's jump in. The third installment of Quest Signature Series brings you a soft and natural set of presets perfect for a cinematic, emotional aesthetic. The three variations included give you a few tonal varieties from neutral, cool, to warm, all of which can be used side by side while maintaining a consistent body of work. This set is perfect for the photographer looking to evoke strong emotion through their work with a romantic and moody aesthetic. Our first base preset included with the set is mildly desaturated with a few clean and simple tonal adjustments. Skin tones are accurate with an added milky quality that provides a smooth and dreamy look. Overall dynamics are subtle with a very gentle roll-off on highlights for a very natural appearance. As for the two variations of this preset, the first one has added blues in the shadows and highlights with the push in skin tones to keep golden hues with a cool backdrop. The second added warmth across the spectrum with a dip in saturation for a summery golden look. The dynamics profile included, you'll want to use this to help with contrast and luminance on those images that need a bit of punch or to increase the soft and moody effect for a more stylized look. Now that we know what this set is all about, let's go ahead and start editing some images. Let's go ahead and click on our first here. So before we apply a preset, first thing we want to do is we want to set our white balance and exposure. I'm going to bring my exposure up a tad here, right about there, looks good. And then I want to bump up the temperature, bring some warmth into those skin tones. How about right about there, looks good. I'm not going to mess with the tint, that looks okay to me. Let's go ahead and hover over our presets over here and see what we're digging. I think I like 2 for this, absolutely, yeah. So as you can see, very soft and natural, beautiful tones here. Nothing too stylized. The only thing that I want to do to this is I want to add a little bit of punch with the dynamic slider. Okay, so I'm going to slide that up to the right here. And you're going to notice it's a very subtle effect. Now, this isn't meant to have a heavy effect on your imagery, okay? This is meant to give you consistency across a wide variety of imagery to give you consistent results, okay? So images where you have a lot less contrast, it's going to help you punch it up, whereas some images where you have a lot of contrast, it's going to help you punch it down. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and move on to our next image here. So again, I'm going to want to set my white balance and exposure. The exposure is looking pretty good here, so I think I'm just going to play with the white balance a little bit. First off, the tint looks ever so slightly magenta to me, at least on my screen, so I'm going to back that off just barely. And then I'm going to bump up the warmth as much as I can get away with to where it still looks natural. Okay, so now let's go ahead and hover over our presets here, see what we've got. I think I'm going to go for something super warm here, so that's going to be 3 for me. Give that a click. Perfect. I think this image could use a little bit of a bump in contrast. So I'm going to slide up my dynamics here a little bit. Keep going, keep going. Right about there. Yeah, that looks fantastic. And for fun, why don't we go ahead and apply a lens effect here. Give it a click, horizontal, see what we got. We're going to want from left to right here. I dig that. 05 looks great. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and move on to our next. All right, with this particular image, first off, I'm going to want to change the temperature a little bit, slide it up, get away with as much warmth as I can. Perfect. And this image was underexposed a little bit to retain those highlights, but I'm going to bump it back up, stay right about there. And I might actually have to add some contrast overall, because as we can see, there's a haze machine being used here. So we're definitely going to lose some contrast from that. So let's go ahead and hover over our presets, see what we're working with. I think I'm going to go with 1 on this one. Go ahead and give that a click. And I'm just simply going to bump up the contrast a little bit. Up to the point where I like it. About right about there. And then bump up the dynamics as well, which is going to add a little bit more brightness. Perfect. Yeah, right about there looks fantastic. Dig it. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next image. So for this one, I'm pretty happy with the white balance. Maybe bump up the exposure slightly. Let's try right about there. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I'd want to do to it. Okay, now let's go ahead and hover over some of our presets here. Ooh, I like them all. Let's go ahead and go with 2 again. And as you can see with 2 as well, it gives you a little bit more of natural colors, true to life colors. Whereas with 1, it's very neutral, but a bit on the warmer side. And 3 is definitely that, you know, big punch of warmth. So aside from that, I'm not sure there's much else I'd want to do to this. This is a bit of a one click and done, which isn't a bad thing by any means. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. All right, beautiful image. Let's go ahead and bump up our temperature slightly, see what we can get away with here. The warmer, the better. Right about there, looks good. It's a bit on the magenta side, so I'm gonna back that down slightly. Looks good, right about there. Maybe an exposure bump. We'll see what the preset does with it. Okay, I think I'm definitely gonna wanna use one of the warmer ones here. Oh yeah, right there. I'm gonna wanna bump up the exposure ever so slightly. Probably right about there, looks fantastic, yeah. And you know what? Why don't I go ahead and do a little mix and match here with the profiles, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click on my profile icon right over here. Give that a click, okay. And why don't we go ahead and use diffusion, my favorite profile of all time. Okay, give that a close. And then let's see if we can get away with it. I'm gonna go with a high, yeah. I'm losing a little bit of contrast from this, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump up contrast a little bit. How about right about there? Yeah, that looks fantastic. Maybe a lens effect just for fun? Why not? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what we're working with here. We could probably even do the ring of fire on this one. I like to tone this down a little bit. It can definitely be intense, which is great on certain imagery. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on my brush icon right here. Okay, hover over this guy. I'm actually just gonna delete this this bloom right here. Okay, yeah, perfect, just like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Wouldn't do anything else. All right, now that we've gotten through all of our images, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the before and afters. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope this video was helpful and informative as always. This is actually a set that I personally developed, so I'm very excited to see the results that you're able to get with them. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Otherwise, this is Chris signing off, and I'll see you in the next one.